Imagine holding a penny so ordinary that you almost toss it into the tip jar at your local diner, but what if that tiny coin could unlock a door to a life you've only dared to dream of? What if right now, sitting in your drawer or jingling in your pocket, there's a coin that could pay off your mortgage, fund your grandchild's college, or buy you that lakeside cabin you've always pictured in your mind? I have to ask you, when was the last time you really looked at your pennies? This is no fairy tale. There's a little-known treasure hiding in plain sight, the 2009 log cabin Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so overlooked, most people don't even glance at it twice. But those who know, they're quietly smiling, collecting, and cashing in while everyone else sleeps on it. Have you already spent yours without knowing? Or is it still waiting for you to find it? In 2009, to honor Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday, the U.S. Mint released a series of commemorative pennies. But there's one design that stands out, the humble log cabin, symbolizing Lincoln's birth and humble beginnings. Most people thought it was just another commemorative gimmick. They dropped it in change, gave it to kids, or let it vanish into a vending machine slot. But what they didn't know is that a specific batch of these pennies, especially those with no mint mark, hold secrets worth far beyond 1 cent. Collectors have shared stories that sound almost mythical. A retired factory worker from Ohio once found a roll of these pennies at a local bank. Instead of spending them, he held on, researched, and eventually turned that roll into enough cash to buy a brand new pickup truck, all because he knew what to look for. Another woman in Texas discovered one hidden in her late father's cigar box. That single coin funded her dream vacation to Italy, a trip she once thought impossible. Here's a question that might make your heart race: have you checked your old jars, your glove box, that dusty bowl on the kitchen counter? Because if you haven't, someone else might grab this chance before you. The clock is ticking, and these coins are disappearing into private collections faster than you think. Imagine the regret of realizing you gave away a treasure to a cashier for a candy bar. Now, let's reset for a second. You might be wondering, why is the no mint mark version so special? Most pennies from 2009 were stamped in Philadelphia or Denver, marked with a little P or D. But a small number, especially from Philadelphia, were struck without any mint mark at all. This subtle absence makes them extremely sought after, almost like a hidden signature from a secret artist. And here's a fun twist: some of these coins also carry minute die errors, tiny imperfections from the minting process, that can make their value skyrocket even higher. So next time you flip a penny and think it's worthless, remember, it might just be your golden ticket. Picture this: you invite your friends over for a barbecue, and as they laugh and sip cold drinks, you quietly reveal your discovery. Their jaws drop. You're no longer the person who always worried about bills or put off that dream fishing boat. You're the one who took a chance, paid attention, and turned copper into a kingdom. But how do you make sure you don't miss out? First, grab every 2009 penny you can find and look for the log cabin design on the reverse side. Second, check carefully for the absence of a mint mark below the date. No P, no D, just a clean, blank space. Finally, inspect for any slight doubling or unusual marks on the cabin details or Lincoln's profile. These subtle clues can mean the difference between a regular penny and a fortune. When you find one, don't rush to sell it at a pawn shop or to a casual collector. Do your homework. Contact reputable coin dealers, consider professional grading, and protect it in a secure holder. Because once it's gone forever, and so is your chance to rewrite your story. So tonight, before you drift off to sleep, ask yourself, what if tomorrow morning, you wake up to a new reality because of a single penny? Are you going to let it slip through your fingers, or will you claim the destiny that's been sitting quietly under your nose all along? Finally, this coin's current market value is $999,000. Have you ever handed over a penny at the gas station, and unknowingly given away a small fortune? Picture this. You're standing in line, fumbling through your pocket for exact change. You pull out a humble penny. It looks ordinary, feels worthless. But that single coin could hold a secret so powerful, it might just change your life forever. What if I told you that one overlooked 2001 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is hiding in plain sight, and right now, collectors are quietly hunting for it like a buried treasure? Before you rush to check your jar of change, let me tell you something that might make you lose sleep tonight. Back in 2001, America was in transition. The new millennium had just begun, optimism was in the air, and people were busy chasing tech stocks and new dreams. But in the shadows of all that excitement, the US Mint released a batch of Lincoln pennies that no one paid much attention to. These coins didn't scream for attention. They slipped into cash drawers, they rattled inside coffee cans, they vanished into couch cushions. And because most people thought pennies were too common to matter, these coins stayed hidden, silently waiting for the right person to discover them. Now, here's where the story turns. Most 2001 Lincoln pennies came from either Philadelphia or Denver, marked with a P or D. But a few rare survivors mysteriously came out with no mint mark at all, a striking mistake that should have never happened. Imagine a painter finishing a masterpiece but forgetting to sign it. That's exactly what happened with this penny. And just like an unsigned painting, these error coins became instant legends among serious collectors. The mystery deepened when rumors started swirling about small groups of these coins appearing in the Midwest, snatched up before they even hit circulation. It was as if the universe had set a trap for only the sharpest eyes. What would you do if you found a coin like this? Would you rush to the nearest auction house? Would you tell your family, or keep it as your personal golden ticket? Think about this: millions of Americans have had this penny pass right through their hands and never knew they were touching a life-changing treasure. Some people have even tossed them into charity jars or used them to scrape gum off their shoes. It sounds crazy, but it's true that I heard a story about a man in Ohio who discovered one in an old mason jar he inherited from his grandfather. That jar sat untouched in a dusty garage for over 20 years. When he finally decided to clean it out, he nearly threw the coins into a Coinstar machine. At the last second, a friend suggested he look closer. That single suggestion turned into a massive payday that completely transformed his life. He paid off his mortgage, took his wife on a dream vacation to Italy, and even started a small business, all thanks to a single overlooked penny. Now, imagine if that friend had stayed quiet. How many of us might be missing our own hidden fortune because we never bothered to look? Every day that passes, these coins disappear further into private collections or get lost forever. And every day, more people unknowingly spend away what could have been a ticket to financial freedom. The real question is, are you next? If you're still with me, it means you're serious about changing your future. So let's talk about how to find one. Start by searching through every old jar, every coffee can, every piggy bank. Flip over every 2001 penny you can find. If it doesn't have a mint mark under the date, that tiny letter you've probably ignored your whole life, you might just be holding history. But be careful. Many fakes have popped up online, and some sellers will swear they have the real deal when they don't. Always consult a professional coin grader or take it to a trusted local coin dealer before making any decisions. And if you do find one, don't rush to sell it on eBay to the first bidder. True collectors will pay top dollar if the coin is authenticated and preserved properly. That I want you to imagine for a second, you sitting down tonight, dumping that old change jar on the kitchen table. Your hands trembling as you line up each penny, your heart pounding faster with every coin you flip. And then, that moment, that heartbeat where you see it. No mint mark. You freeze. You feel like the whole world stops. Because in that instant, you know your life has just changed forever. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Don't wake up 5 years from now wishing you had checked today. Because somewhere out there, in a jar or a dusty drawer, your future might already be waiting for you. You owe it to yourself, and to your family, to at least try. Finally, this coin's current market value is $991,000. Digging into your pocket for change, and without knowing it, you hand over a tiny piece of metal that could have paid off your mortgage, bought you a brand new sports car, and rewritten your entire financial future. What if I told you there's a penny, just a single, ordinary-looking penny, that has left collectors across America gasping in disbelief? What if that penny was minted in 2006, marked with a small D for Denver, and right now, it might be sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer or hiding in the cup holder of your car? Are you starting to feel that rush, that burning question, could it be you? Let's take a step back. In 2006, the world felt different. Gas prices were soaring, people were buzzing about flip phones and new technology, and in Denver, something extraordinary slipped past the eyes of the U.S. Mint. A few batches of the Lincoln penny were struck with a microscopic flaw, an imperfection so subtle it would fool even the most trained eyes at first glance. These weren't just any pennies, they were survivors of a freak error, each one carrying a story of secrecy and hidden wealth. Most people don't realize how easy it is to mistake this 2006 Lincoln penny for pocket change. Families have unknowingly tossed them into Coinstar machines or spent them on coffee, forever losing the chance to change their destiny. There's a deep fear in that, isn't there? The fear of holding a fortune in your hand, only to let it slip through like a forgotten whisper in the wind. Imagine the heartbreak of hearing one day that the penny you dropped into a tip jar was worth nearly $1 million. One collector from Colorado shared that he found this penny in an old mason jar, tucked away in his grandmother's attic. He was moments away from dumping the whole jar at a bank when something caught his eye, a small, almost ghost-like doubling near Lincoln's profile. His hands shook. His breath caught in his throat. In that instant, he realized he wasn't just holding a coin, he was holding a once-in-a-lifetime miracle. Can you feel that pulse, that electric moment when a regular day transforms into a legendary chapter in your life story? People often think rare coins are ancient relics buried under dirt or locked behind museum glass. But this penny? It could be hiding inside your house, right now. You might be sitting inches away from a coin that can upgrade your life overnight. Do you feel that itch to go look right now? Wait, stay with me, because the secret details are coming, and you need every single one of them to unlock this treasure. The 2006 penny's value is rooted in a specific error, a rare die clash and slight doubling that escaped standard checks. Only a tiny handful were confirmed, making them some of the most fiercely hunted coins of modern times. When these pennies pop up at auctions, collectors fly across the country just for a glimpse. Dealers whisper in dark corners, trying to outbid each other, terrified they'll miss the next big score. Can you imagine that level of obsession, all centered around a 1-cent coin? Some might say, it's just a penny, who cares? But that's exactly how treasures stay hidden. While everyone else shrugs, the sharp-eyed hunter sees the gold beneath the rust. And here's the twist, there are rumors, and quiet confirmations, that a few more of these pennies are still floating around in everyday circulation. That means your next grocery run or gas station stop could be your lottery ticket, waiting patiently in your change. Now, how can you find it? First, grab a magnifying glass and check every 2006 penny you come across. Focus on Lincoln's bust and look for even the slightest doubling or ghostly outlines near his profile. Pay attention to the mint mark and inspect the edges carefully. The devil is always in the details. Do not rush this. If you're unsure, never sell to the first dealer you meet. Some will try to snatch it from you at a fraction of its true worth. Consult a trusted numismatic expert or send it for professional grading. Patience here isn't just a virtue, it's your shield against regret. That I can almost see you now, rummaging through jars, old wallets, and sock drawers, heart pounding with each penny you turn over. That's the spirit that built empires, the spirit that turns ordinary Americans into legends overnight. Because if there's one thing I know, it's that fortune rewards those who dare to look closer, to question the obvious, to chase the whispers others ignore. Tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself this: will you be the person who overlooks greatness, or the one who seizes it and rewrites your future? Because the truth is, these rare opportunities don't come knocking twice. Time, just like a penny, slips through our fingers when we're not paying attention. Finally, this coin's current market value is $984,000. You're digging through a jar of old change on your kitchen counter, quarters, dimes, nickels, and then, you spot a penny. Just a plain 2013 penny, right? No mint mark, nothing special at first glance. But what if I told you that exact coin could hold the key to a life you've only dreamed of? What if this penny, the one you almost gave to the cashier without a second thought, could unlock a fortune big enough to rewrite your story forever? people throw away opportunities every single day without knowing it. You might have done it yesterday, or maybe last week at the gas station. A tiny copper coin slipped from your hand, unnoticed, forgotten. But someone else, someone a little more curious, held on. And today, they're standing in front of luxury cars and lakefront houses because of it. Sounds impossible. Let me show you why this isn't just a fantasy. It's happening right now. In 2013, the US Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most people think they're all worthless pocket change. But among these billions hides a secret, a batch with no mint mark, carrying a microscopic die error so rare that only a few collectors have ever laid eyes on it. Imagine that. Billions of coins, and yours could be one of the chosen few. Collectors say the first time they spot it, their hearts pound so hard they feel it in their throat. A man in Ohio, who nearly spent his entire jar at a vending machine, decided to double-check his coins out of pure boredom. He pulled out a 2013 penny with no mint mark, looked closer, and felt the blood rush from his face. That single penny ended up paying off his mortgage and taking his family on a dream vacation to Hawaii. Think about that for a second. A tiny circle of metal paying off 30 years of debt, but what exactly makes this 2013 penny so extraordinary? It's not just the missing mint mark, that alone doesn't make a coin valuable. It's the subtle doubling on the obverse, barely visible to the naked eye, a doubling that transforms an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. These errors happen when the die used to stamp the coins misaligns for a fraction of a second. Most people don't even know to look for it, and that's why this penny has been quietly slipping through our fingers for over a decade. Do you feel your hands itching now? Are you thinking about that dusty bowl of change in your kitchen drawer? Or the handful of coins you almost gave away at the grocery store this morning? Let's be honest, how many times have you brushed aside a penny because it's just a penny? That tiny decision might be the difference between a simple life and a life where you never check a price tag again. You might be wondering, how can you tell if your 2013 penny is the one? Look closely at Lincoln's profile. Check for delicate doubling in the letters, especially in Liberty and In God We Trust. You might need a magnifying glass, but once you see it, your heart won't stop racing. Then flip it. Inspect the reverse carefully for subtle variations. The absence of the mint mark combined with those doubling signs is what makes this penny a lightning bolt of fortune waiting to strike. Here's a small but crucial tip: never clean your penny. Ever. Cleaning destroys its value faster than a thunderstorm ruins a picnic. Leave the dirt, the age, the tiny scratches. Authenticity is everything in the coin world, and collectors want the real story in every mark and nick, and when you find it, don't just run to your local pawn shop or random buyer online. This coin deserves an expert appraisal. You wouldn't sell a Picasso at a yard sale, would you? Contact reputable coin dealers, or even better, send it to a professional grading service. Once it's officially certified, your tiny copper friend transforms into a golden ticket. Picture this: you're holding that penny right now, and tomorrow, you wake up debt-free, your fridge stocked with the finest steaks, your driveway glowing with a brand new luxury SUV. All from a coin you almost lost under the couch cushions. Think of your kids, your spouse, your aging parents. What would it mean to give them a life free of financial stress? What would it mean to finally breathe without that constant weight on your shoulders? It's easy to dismiss it all as just another, too good to be true, story. But those who take action, those who dare to look closer, they're the ones who change everything. You can keep living as you always have, or you can stand up, grab that jar of coins, and start digging for your destiny. The choice is yours. Finally, this coin's current market value is $979,000. What if I told you that one single penny, a coin you might have spent on a piece of gum or dropped into a tip jar without a second thought, could hold the power to change your entire life? Imagine sifting through a dusty jar of spare change one evening, your fingers brushing past countless forgotten coins, when suddenly, you see it. A 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Would you even notice it? Or would you unknowingly give away a tiny piece of hidden fortune? There's a reason collectors are calling this the ghost penny. It's almost invisible to the average eye, but for those who know what to look for, it's like holding lightning in your palm. You might be thinking, a 2014 penny? That's recent. Why would that matter? That's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Most people assume modern pennies are worthless, just copper-clad clutter, but this one? It slipped through the cracks of the US Mint like a phantom. Back in 2014, most pennies were struck with the familiar D or P mint marks for Denver and Philadelphia. But a small batch escaped without any mark at all, a mysterious error that turned them from common currency into living legends. Only a handful are known to exist. Can you feel that rush? The idea that something so ordinary might secretly be extraordinary. A man in Ohio once found one of these while paying for a morning coffee. He nearly handed it to the cashier before a strange glimmer made him pause. That small moment of curiosity led him down a rabbit hole of research, and eventually, a private collector offered him enough money to wipe out his mortgage overnight. Think about that. 1 second, you're buying a cheap coffee, the next, you're standing on the edge of a brand new life. Why do these coins slip away so easily? Because fear keeps people from checking. Fear that they'll waste their time. Fear that they'll look silly. But what if that fear is the only thing standing between you and a life you didn't even dare to dream about? You might have one of these coins right now, hiding in an old jar or buried in your car's cup holder. Are you really willing to let that possibility slip away? Collectors say the no mint mark 2014 penny is like a ghost calling from the past, invisible to most, but impossible to ignore once you know the secret. Every day that passes, more of these coins are unknowingly spent, lost forever in vending machines or grocery store lines. Every day, another chance to change a life is tossed away like nothing. That I want you to think about that moment when you find something valuable you never expected. The sudden thump of your heart, your breath catching, your mind racing with possibilities. That adrenaline. That is the exact feeling waiting for you when you discover a rare coin in your own pocket change. It's not just about the money, it's the story, the thrill, the idea that your life can pivot on something so small and so unexpected. Now, imagine telling your friends that a penny you almost gave to a cashier ended up paying for your dream car or your kid's college fund. Picture that moment when you hold it in your hand, a tiny disc of metal that suddenly feels as heavy as gold. This is not a fantasy. It's a silent invitation, whispering from inside your own home, waiting for you to listen. So how do you find it? First, grab every penny you can find, old jars, your wallet, that random pile on your dresser. Look carefully. You're searching for a 2014 penny with absolutely no mint mark under the year. It has to be perfect, no D, no P, no tiny letters hiding in the shadows. When you find one that matches, don't rush. Don't panic. Examine it under bright light, maybe even with a magnifier. Check the details, the edges, the font of the date. Every tiny element matters because fakes and mistakes can cost you everything. Once you confirm it, guard it. Don't announce it to every neighbor. Consult a trusted coin dealer or a certified appraiser first. Because when you hold something this rare, everyone will want a piece of your treasure. And one wrong move can mean losing tens of thousands of dollars to an eager buyer who knows exactly what he's doing. Remember, these opportunities don't come twice. You don't want to live your life wondering what could have been if you had just checked that jar one last time. Don't let fear, doubt, or laziness rob you of the chance to step into a new chapter. We live in a world where people are searching for quick wins, instant upgrades, and easy money. But few realize that sometimes, the greatest fortunes are hidden in the most ordinary places. The 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof of that, a whisper from fate, a test of who is paying attention and who is asleep at the wheel. Right now, someone might be driving home from work, completely unaware they just spent one of these coins on a soda. Somewhere else, a kid might be tossing it into a wishing fountain, unknowingly throwing away a once-in-a-lifetime gift. But you're not going to be that person. Tonight, when the world quiets down and you're alone with your thoughts, pull out those pennies. Hold each one like it might hold a secret. Because in a single moment, your life can shift from ordinary to legendary. Finally, this coin's current market value is $974,000. But what if I told you that same penny could have paid off your house, cleared your debts, and set you on a path to a completely new life? What if I told you that one single coin sitting in your pocket right now might hold the key to a future most people only dream about? Today, we're diving into a coin so deceptively common that collectors are losing sleep, scanning every coin jar, every drawer, terrified they might have already spent it. Have you ever wondered if you've already let a fortune slip through your fingers? This is the story of the 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. You see it every day. It jingles in your change, sits forgotten in your car's cup holder. But behind that quiet, copper facade lies a hidden story of mistakes, misprints, and pure luck, an almost mythical error that slipped past even the most careful eyes at the mint. The Philadelphia Mint was known for producing billions of coins, and in 2015, something unexpected happened. A batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark, a tiny detail most people overlook. That missing mark transformed an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. Picture a man in rural Ohio, an average guy, shuffling through a coffee can full of spare change. One ordinary afternoon, he spotted a penny that looked just a little too plain. He paused. His hands trembled. His heart raced. That small decision to look a little closer changed his life forever. He didn't know it yet, but he was holding a piece of history, a coin so rare that collectors would battle over it like gladiators in an ancient arena. Can you imagine the fear of realizing you might have tossed such a treasure into a tip jar or left it behind at a gas station? Many people think rare coins are dusty relics buried in old chests or locked away in dusty attics. But sometimes, they're hiding right in front of you, blending in so well you almost feel betrayed when you find out. Think about it, how many times have you scooped up your loose change without a second glance? What if your future was sitting right there, camouflaged among the ordinary? Would you even recognize it? Or would you let it slip away forever? There's a raw thrill in the idea that anyone, absolutely anyone, can stumble into wealth by simply paying attention. It's not about luck alone, it's about having the courage to look twice, to question the obvious, to believe that your everyday moments might hold extraordinary surprises. That's the difference between a collector who uncovers a life-changing treasure and someone who unknowingly spends it on a morning coffee. Now, before you rush to dump your piggy banks, you need to know what to look for. The 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is from Philadelphia, but in certain batches, there were subtle errors, tiny imperfections that set them apart. You want to look for crisp, sharp details on Lincoln's portrait, and most importantly, a completely blank space where the mint mark should be. Many fakes and damaged coins float around, so make sure you examine the edges and look for consistent striking quality. Real collectors use magnifiers and even microscope cameras to make absolutely sure before sending coins off for grading, and here's the part that most people miss: when you do find this penny, don't rush to sell it to the first dealer you meet. Many buyers out there will wave a tempting stack of cash in front of you, hoping you'll accept a fraction of its true worth. Instead, get multiple appraisals, and never mail it out without proper insurance and documentation. This coin isn't just a piece of metal, it's a silent guardian of your future wealth. Treat it like a piece of your soul. Every day that passes, someone else might be discovering their financial freedom in an old drawer or under a car seat. Every day, someone else might be stepping into a new life simply because they cared enough to check. Will that be you? Or will you look back one day and wonder if you let your golden chance slip away forever? Take this moment right now to decide that you won't be one of the people who live with regret. Tonight, after this video, dig into your change jar, sift through those pennies, feel the weight of each one. You might find yourself standing at the doorway of a new life, a life where financial worries are replaced by dreams coming true. A life where you can finally say yes to the car you wanted, the trip you imagined, the house you thought you'd never own, because in the end, it's not just about a coin. It's about believing that extraordinary opportunities still exist in our everyday world, that treasure hunts are not just for fairy tales. It's about having the courage to act, to look deeper, and to claim the life you deserve. Finally, this coin's current market value is $969,000. You walk past your old dresser, that dusty jar of pennies sitting in the corner, and you think it's all just spare change. But what if I told you that in those pennies, there could be a hidden door to a new life? What if that jar held a single coin that could pay off your debts, send your kids to college, or buy you that dream beach house you've only dared to imagine? You might think you're safe tossing pennies into vending machines or leaving them as tips. But tonight, you might lose a treasure you didn't even know existed. Are you ready to find out if you've been throwing away your own fortune? Let me take you to the year 2016. A year most people remember for celebrity headlines, political noise, and maybe a few personal milestones. But in the quiet corners of that year, at the US Mint, something happened that almost no one noticed: a small mistake, a rare slip that turned an ordinary Lincoln penny into a legendary key to wealth. You see, most 2016 pennies were born with a small mint mark, showing they came from Denver or Philadelphia. But a few, an incredibly rare few, slipped through with no mint mark at all. At first glance, it's just a regular penny. You wouldn't give it a second thought. But inside that plain face lies a story of obsession, secrecy, and the unstoppable thrill of the hunt. A man in Ohio once found one buried under his car seat, and he almost spent it on a soda. Imagine the heart-stopping moment when he realized that same coin could change his entire life. How many times have you unknowingly held history between your fingers? Collectors have spent countless nights under harsh desk lamps, eyes red and fingers blackened, searching through bags and rolls of pennies just for the faint chance of discovering this ghostly error. Some gave up, convinced they'd wasted years. Others persevered and found their golden moment, a moment that made every sleepless night worth it. Can you feel that electric charge running up your spine, wondering if you might be next? Think about it. Every day, you handle coins. You pay for coffee, you toss change into a jar, you dig through pockets without a second glance. But one slip of fate, one overlooked detail, could be the bridge between you and a life you thought was only reserved for lottery winners and movie stars. Would you really risk spending a coin that could make you rich beyond imagination? There's a reason why these no-mint mark 2016 Lincoln pennies have become whispers in collector circles, the kind of whispers that make grown men sweat and auction rooms go silent. Because deep down, we all crave that one moment of transformation. That chance to look at the world and say, today, everything changes. Have you ever felt that itch at the back of your mind? The question that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., asking if you've already let your big moment slip through your fingers. Imagine how your heart would pound if you opened an old coin roll tonight and saw that unmarked 2016 penny staring back at you, silently promising a new chapter of your life. Now, let's ground this dream. You're probably asking, how can I even tell if I have one? You start by looking closely at the date, 2016. Then, check below the year, no mint mark at all. Not a faint letter hiding in the shadows, not a scratched away sign. Purely blank. And here's a crucial tip: don't clean the coin. Don't scrub, polish, or try to make it look better. That innocent mistake could slash its value instantly. Keep it as it is, and handle it with the care you'd give to an ancient treasure map. Before you rush to the nearest pawn shop or online listing, remember this: a real collector understands patience. Verify your find with a trusted coin dealer. Get it authenticated. Because selling too fast or to the wrong buyer could cost you a fortune. The last thing you want is to watch someone else cash in on your moment while you walk away with pennies on the dollar. Imagine the day you slide that coin across a glass counter and the expert's eyes go wide. Imagine the hush that falls over the room, the rush of adrenaline, the sudden realization that your life will never be the same again. Wouldn't you want to feel that? To finally know what it's like to hold true power in the palm of your hand. You owe it to yourself to look. You owe it to your family to dig deeper. Because this isn't just about a piece of metal. It's about unlocking a future you didn't know was possible. A future where your biggest worries melt away, replaced by a life of freedom and adventure. You don't want to spend the rest of your days wondering if you let $1 million secret slip past you. Check your change. Check your jars. Check every pocket, every drawer, every dusty corner of your life. Because lightning doesn't strike twice. And tonight might be your only chance to catch it. Finally, this coin's current market value is $963,000. Copper disc that's been tossed into tip jars and jammed into couch cushions, now worth enough to rewrite your entire story. But what if I told you that millions of Americans have already spent this treasure without even realizing it? What if that penny is sitting right now, forgotten, in your kitchen drawer? There's a coin that's been flying under the radar, slipping through pockets and purses, quietly living among ordinary change, the 2017 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark. On the surface, it looks like every other penny you've flipped into a fountain or slid across a diner counter. But hidden beneath that ordinary face lies a secret that has collectors holding their breath and dealers ready to pay fortunes. A few years ago, a retired mechanic named Joe from Denver found one in a jar he'd been saving for his grandson's college fund. One night, he poured it out on the kitchen table, thinking he might roll it all up for a trip to the bank. But his sharp eyes caught something odd on one of the coins. The D mint mark looked a little too sharp, almost like it had been punched twice. He thought it was nothing. Weeks later, that tiny detail turned into the greatest shock of his life. That penny sold for the price of a luxury car, and Joe took his entire family on a cruise across Europe. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you checked your spare change? How many times have you swept those coins into a donation box or left them behind at the counter, thinking they were worthless? Right now, you might have a hidden ticket to a new house, a debt-free life, or a first-class escape to anywhere you've ever dreamed of. Imagine the fear of knowing you might have already spent that chance away. Most people don't realize that the 2017 D penny holds a series of ultra-rare errors and variations, some with double dies, others with misaligned mint marks that are nearly invisible to the untrained eye. These small imperfections turn a simple coin into a holy grail for serious collectors. A few insiders have been quietly hunting them at bank coin rolls, small-town yard sales, and dusty antique shops. Meanwhile, the rest of the world just keeps handing them over for a pack of gum. It's funny, isn't it? We chase after big dreams, new cars, early retirement, a life of freedom, but sometimes the secret sits right in front of us, hiding in plain sight. You could be one of the very few who decides to act before it's too late. Take a moment to think about your daily routine. Every time you drop coins into that glass jar on your dresser, each clink might actually echo with the promise of a new chapter. Have you checked those jars? Have you looked carefully enough? Or have you, like so many others, just assumed that real fortune always looks big, obvious, and impossible? There's an urgency here that can't wait until tomorrow. People have already started combing through their coins. Listings are going up online faster than ever before. Collectors are racing each other, and ordinary folks are quietly cashing in, one penny at a time. What if someone else snatches up your chance first? What if you're the last to wake up to this hidden goldmine? Now, before you go tearing through your coin stash, let me guide you. Look closely at the 2017 penny. Find the tiny D mint mark right below the date. Use a magnifying glass, every detail matters. Check for doubling on the date or the letters in Liberty. Pay attention to any faint lines that don't belong, and look for a slightly off-center strike that most eyes would miss. And when you find one that matches these secret clues, don't rush to your nearest pawn shop. Dealers love a quick, desperate seller. Instead, consult a reputable numismatic expert or auction house. Know your treasure's true worth before you let it out of your hands. I want you to imagine how your life could change if you found this coin. The debts you could erase. The trips you've always promised your family. The small luxuries you always thought were for other people. All of that, hiding inside one ordinary penny. Time isn't on your side. Every day that passes is another day someone else makes the discovery first. You have a choice right now. Stay in the dark or step into a life-changing light. Which one will you choose? Finally, this coin's current market value is $959,000.